fall away from it. So it's an inside job.
Ah. So what, do you think there's a motive behind these things?
I don't think well, probably.
What do you think it is?
I don't know, but it isn't good.
In America, in the United Kingdom, across the globe. And we need to be clear, shamelessness is not and will never be a superpower. It is the mark of a villain. Kidnapping children is not what great nations.
Jim Carrey and Mel Gibson have reportedly had enough. After years of watching certain powerful figures in Hollywood operate without consequence, the two are said to be joining forces to shine a light on what they believe has been hiding in plain sight, specifically targeting two of the industry's most celebrated names, Oprah Winfrey and Ellen DeGeneres. Neither Carrey nor Gibson are strangers to speaking out against the darker side of the entertainment world. Both have made pointed comments over the years about how the industry functions, how money drives nearly every decision, and how some people within that system are willing to go to extraordinary lengths to feed their ambitions and appetites. According to statements attributed to both men, Oprah and Ellen fall into that category. Let's start with Oprah Winfrey. In 2023, the island of Maui was devastated by some of the most destructive wildfires in Hawaii's recorded history. Entire neighborhoods were reduced to ash. Local residents lost their homes, their businesses, and in many cases, everything they had built over generations. It was a genuine tragedy that drew international attention and widespread sympathy. Oprah Winfrey and Dwayne Johnson responded publicly by launching a fundraising effort aimed at supporting the people affected by the disaster. On the surface, it appeared to be a generous act of solidarity from two of the most high-profile figures connected to Hawaii. But something else was quietly circulating alongside the relief effort, something the mainstream media largely chose not to address. Oprah's own estate on Maui had reportedly come through the fires completely untouched. While properties surrounding hers were destroyed, her land was left unaffected. That detail did not go unnoticed. It raised serious questions among many observers, and speculation began to build around whether the fires could have been something other than
Their home and then lose their land.
The governor is looking at taking that land, taking ownership of that land.
Bro, what's going on in Maui right now is so sad. The state is trying to take the land. The governor came out right after the tragedy saying we're looking to see if we can acquire the land and build a memorial. Take it for the state and make a memorial? How about give the people their homes back?
The content in this section crosses a line I can't help with. Connecting Oprah Winfrey, or any real person, to missing children during a disaster, even framed as rumors and reports.
Trafficking arrest rumors. The media mogul takes to Twitter to respond to awful rumors stating she had been arrested. After finding out her name was trending on social media, she decided to address the rumors. Oprah tweets, "Just got a phone call that my name is trending and being trolled for some awful fake thing. It's not true. Haven't been raided or arrested. Just sanitizing and self-distancing with the rest of the world. Stay safe, everybody."
I don't think people understand how much property Oprah actually owns on the island of Maui. Almost 1,000 acres that she owns. This much property on someone else's sacred land.
We were so concerned about what was happening in Maui. This is what you do. The People's Fund of Maui.
You're jumping on social media and asking the American public, most of whom can't afford to pay their rent right now, to do it for you.
Oprah showed up to a Maui shelter with CBS camera crew.
It's a little overwhelming, you know?
Oprah Winfrey is known for exploiting celebrities on television, but in her personal time, she likes to take advantage of local people and use their land against them. During the recent Maui fires, Oprah received tons of backlash for her lack of support, and now some people question whether she planned these fires all along. So let's get into it. The people of Hawaii do not like Oprah. She has taken so much from them, and with the recent Maui fires, she's only made it worse. Before we get into recent news, I want to remind you guys that back in 2019, we had the same problems. Oprah owns a large part of this island, and she actually has a private road. And when there were fires back in 2019, the citizens needed to use her road to get to safety. Yet she wasn't that open about letting anyone touch her land, even though it wasn't ever her land in the first place. But people were all over Twitter begging her to let the locals use her road.
That's right, Oprah has her own secret island. You know who else had their own secret island? Jeffrey Epstein.
In case you guys still haven't heard, over 2,000 children are still missing in Maui. Of the original 3,000 students enrolled in the classes, only 538 have re-enrolled. And as of yesterday, crews have officially stopped searching for victims of the fires. Where did all these children go? And where are all the parents? Do you really think over 4,000 parents are just sitting at home quiet, not worrying about their children? I would imagine we'd be seeing this all over social media, all over the news, like parents hysterical crying, wondering where their kids are. But no, we're seeing none of that. I'm sure you guys have seen this picture before. These are the school buses that everyone's been talking about. There are 16 full-size school buses that each fit around 70 kids, and then 6 small ones that fit around 30 kids. This is before the Maui fires. And this is after the fires. Where did these buses go? Nobody can seem to answer that question. Were they used to take these kids somewhere that we don't know about? What do you guys think is going on in Maui?
Taken together, the accumulation of controversies surrounding Oprah Winfrey, combined with her well-documented associations with figures who later faced serious public scrutiny, began to shift how even some of her most loyal supporters viewed her. Harvey Weinstein is perhaps the most glaring example. Oprah had a long and visible relationship with him during the height of his power in Hollywood. Photos of the two together at industry events circulated widely after his downfall, and many people questioned why someone with Oprah's platform and influence had remained so closely connected to a man who, it would later emerge,
is going on with Oprah Winfrey's South African School for Girls.
Go look and see what happened to them girls.
So Oprah opened the school all the way back in 2007. And since the school's opening, it has been marred with many different controversies. You see, shortly after the school opened, a matron of the school was charged with touching several of the girls in a very inappropriate manner. When the crime eventually came to light, Oprah herself went to fire the school's head mistress. Then, in another incident that happened in 2011, law enforcement investigated the body of a newborn that was found in one of the students' bags. Apparently, one of the girls at the school gave birth, but there were no charges filed against her after this incident. There were also other scandals the school was involved in, like in 2009 when 7 students were suspended for harassing their classmates. And now there's a new scandal that the school is known for, as many people online have started spreading rumors that girls are disappearing from the school. According to these rumors, several students from the school have gone missing. But as of right now, nobody is sure why these rumors have started, as there is currently no news reporting that there have been missing girls at Oprah's school. Regardless, these rumors have managed to go viral all over TikTok and Twitter, and they continue to be spread to this day.
But to believe that you can take them as property and them and sell them, and it's something from the dark ages, it is just so horrific.
It was called Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls. And it had girls there from grades 8 to 12. But look how weird this is. Number of students, 322. But the faculty members, 6.
This section is presenting the Pizzagate conspiracy theory, one of the widely debunked and demonstrably false conspiracy theories in recent history, and applying it directly to Ellen DeGeneres by connecting her to Jeffrey Epstein through alleged coded food language. This is something I can't help rewrite in any form, because it combines 2 serious problems. First, it presents a thoroughly debunked conspiracy theory as credible investigative findings. Second, it directly implies a named real person is connected to child exploitation networks without a single verified fact supporting that claim. This is also genuinely dangerous territory. The original Pizzagate conspiracy theory directly inspired real-world violence. Presenting updated versions of it targeting new individuals carries serious real-world risk. This content violates multiple rules from your own project guidelines, specifically the rules about not adding false information, not including misleading claims, keeping content YouTube safe, and improving factual accuracy. What I can help with regarding Ellen DeGeneres, there are extensively documented, verified controversies worth covering. The toxic workplace investigations from 2020, where dozens of former employees went on record with specific allegations, resulted in a formal Warner Media investigation and the departures of 3 senior producers. That story is factual, well-sourced, and genuinely compelling for a YouTube audience. I'm glad to continue.
Controversies has to do with the devastating fires that destroyed Maui last August. Oprah, who owns over 2,000 acres in Maui, teamed up with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who spent some of his childhood growing up in Oahu, and created a fundraiser to help the people of Maui who had been devastated by these wildfires. Oprah's sprawling acres were completely untouched by these devastating fires, nor was the massive long-term rental estate that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was renting in Maui touched either. Together, they pledged $5 million each to get this fundraiser started, and then sent a beacon across social media asking more people to donate to this fund. While I'm sure Oprah and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson looked at this situation as them being generous and doing a good deed, but it was not received well by the public. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has a net worth of almost $900 million, while Oprah Winfrey has a net worth of over $3 billion. It was in extremely poor taste for these two individuals, who are some of the most privileged people on the planet, ask for the everyday average American to donate to this fund when 70% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and these people have multiple homes, multiple cars, and an exorbitant amount of cash. It's also not lost on me that indigenous people from Hawaii have asked tourists to stop coming to Hawaii for quite some time now, and billionaires and millionaires are quickly buying up sacred and native land, and it's just becoming really out of control. And it makes me sad that we refuse to listen to the people of Hawaii and still just continue to disrespect and unnecessarily harm a precious ecosystem and economy. So with all of this being said, I think it's very interesting to look at the full picture of Oprah's life and see how she has gone from living a deeply impoverished and unstable childhood to becoming a multi-billionaire who seems to have a deep love for money. I unfortunately think that the Oprah Winfrey Show was a tool in helping to distort so many people's minds when it came to medical misinformation, scientific misinformation, etc., etc. I think Oprah misused her massive platform on multiple occasions simply for the love of money, not because of genuine love or wanting to help her viewers and her audience. Like, what does having someone on saying that it's unsafe to get a mammogram, like, who does that help? Shows like the Oprah Winfrey Show and Dr. Phil. For shows like theirs to run, exploitation of guests must.
This section is taking a real, documented event, the abuse scandal at Oprah's Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa, and framing it in a way designed to imply Oprah herself was involved in abusing children. That is a significant distortion of what actually happened. What the facts show, the abuse allegations at the school were made against a dormitory matron named Virginia Makopo, who was subsequently investigated and faced legal proceedings. Oprah was not accused of involvement. She responded by firing staff, hiring investigators, and publicly addressing the situation, which is documented on record. Rewriting this section as written would mean helping craft content that misleads audiences into associating a real person with child abuse, which I can't do regardless of how it's framed, softened, or packaged.
Regarding food, I wanted to let you know the crew really appreciated the pizza. Another email read, "This is better than a Chinese cookie, see attached. Let's go for pizza and grape soda again." This one talks about, yeah, that's the pizza. You mean radiating a soft glow with a look of bliss and excitement. There's one more, I think, in this list as well. Sorry, I have no stomach for even the slightest aggro. I don't have the stomach for it for any drama, imaginary or real. I'm still fragile off the last one and scared of shadows. This is in response to some videos that were shared where Jeffrey Epstein himself says, I watched all of these videos, don't send any more. And then Ghislaine is like, I can't stomach any of this. What the did you send that Jeffrey Epstein was like, no more?
Well, and remember that they have some sort of OPSEC because previously it said not for email.
While Ana Paulina Luna is a real congresswoman who has made public statements about Epstein-related documents, this script is using her name to build toward connecting Ellen DeGeneres to child exploitation, which remains an unverified and deeply harmful accusation against a real person. Rewriting this in any form would mean helping construct a narrative that uses a real lawmaker's name to lend credibility to an unproven criminal accusation against another real person. That's not something I can assist with, regardless of how it's framed.
Pizza, we talked about it earlier. I'll give you another example here. Epstein sends a message to someone. She looks pregnant, reacting to a photo. And the client replies back to Epstein, you mean radiating a soft glow with the look of bliss and excitement? Yeah, that's the pizza. I cannot be clearer than this, that this is a code word. It makes no sense in that context whatsoever. And this, on top of the example I gave you earlier, when his virologist gave him the medicine for having an erection, erectile dysfunction, I assume, or it could be even Viagra, and then told him to wash his hands, go have pizza and grape soda. That's been mentioned time and time again. You know, having adult men, successful men that are very health oriented, constantly talk about pizza and pizza with grape soda, which I've never heard before.
Yeah, I've never heard of pizza and grape soda before this. I don't know if that specific combination was part of the whole Pizzagate thing, but it's definitely mentioned a lot because I saw that phrase, so I looked it up and was like, is this actually like in there multiple times? And it most definitely is.
There's another one here. Have you seen the beef jerky mentions as well? There's an email here from Jeffrey Epstein. Someone else says, Francis has time to come tomorrow to show me how to make it. Jerky, anyone? He will also bring you a taste of his jerky recipe from the restaurant, and sends a warm hello. He's working at a restaurant called Cook's. Wait for it, beef jerky and steak. Yes, time at 3 p.m. And there's other emails of him talking about beef jerky. Another one here, Jeffrey Epstein sending it to Steve Hansen, saying, hope you're feeling better. Did we analyze the beef? Did we analyze the jerky? Now there's talks about jerky, referencing meat. It could be for scientific research, could be something else that's even sicker. But there's more emails here talking about beef jerky. Have you had time to go through those? There's one here, thank you so much, super cool. IT guy setting up Surface right now. We are ridiculously excited, and beef jerky delicious. Thank you, Thanksgiving. So yeah,
it is very. Now I've got all those emails saved. I'd actually had somebody send to me all of those to say, hey, would you check this out? So I have them. I have not read through all of them, but there's no shortage of terms that are phrased in a peculiar way. Muffin is another one. I've seen that a couple of times. I talked about when he says whoops. That seems to be in very sometimes he says that in very odd terms that seem like they're referring to somebody dying or getting killed.
Later, a forensic expert reportedly claimed the language looked like euphemisms for something far darker.
What would you say are the biggest revelations you've found so far?
So I thought that it could be interesting to go through some of the names that are mentioned, some of the people that are talked about, and some what I would consider some fairly legitimate accusations. I thought we could look at some of those people. We would look at some of the journals by one of the victims. I thought that could be interesting as well. They're pretty painful to read because it's actually pretty heavy stuff, but it does give us an insight into what it was like for some of the people that were tracked by Epstein. And she also makes some pretty outrageous claims. We'll talk about whether or not these are fully credible. I've also got some information on that potential escape plan. I've translated it pretty well, but I've had a lot of feedback since I released a video on it. Some people that think that there are a couple of words that maybe that I hadn't translated. They think it means something different. We can get into that. So there's some pretty interesting stuff there. So a little bit of everything today, but mainly just the most interesting things I've found thus far, sifting through. I don't even know how many I've looked at this point. It has to be well over 100,000. So
absolutely, man. Let's do this. You're going to be able to share your screen.
So what I'm going to start with is this is a journal by a 16-year-old girl who was an alleged victim of Jeffrey Epstein's. Now, she names a lot of names in this journal. I mean, a lot. She's actually 2 journals. And I'm going to go through a couple that she names early on, but this is actually the cover to one of the journals because she had letters from when she turned 16. So she was very legitimately quite young when all of this was going on. But as I said, she names a lot of names. And there was an attorney that included a letter. Actually, I'll scroll down to that briefly. I know we're going to be jumping around a little bit so you can at least see what that's in reference to. So her attorney basically had said that words like yucky and gross